One of the mechanisms linking increased consumption of ultra-processed foods and increased risk of death and disease is calorie overload, leading to excess body fat. This could be due to all the extra sugar and fat added to these foods, but in my last video I profiled a randomized controlled study that found that those in the ultra-processed diet gained more weight than those eating unprocessed foods, even when the two diets were matched with the same nutrient profile. But ultra-processed foods are also designed to be eaten quickly, and indeed the ultra-processed group snarfed calories at a 50% faster rate, so changes in texture due to processing may contribute to the calorie overload, but so too may the increased calorie density of ultra-processed foods, as well as the degradation of the food matrix. Calorie density is the number of calories for a given weight or volume of food. Some foods have more calories per cup, per pound, per mouthful than others. Oil, for example, has a high calorie density, which means it has a high calorie concentration, with lots of calories packed into a small space. Drizzling just 1 tablespoon of oil on a dish adds 120 calories. For those same 120 calories, you could eat about 2 cups of blackberries, food with a low calorie density. You could swallow that spoonful of oil and not even feel a difference in your stomach, but eating a couple cups of berries could start to fill you up. A handful of jelly beans has about 16 times more calories than a handful of cherry tomatoes. So for the same number of calories, you could eat that 1 handful of jelly beans or about 4 cups of cherry tomatoes. A large serving of French fries is about the same size and weight as a baked potato, but has about 4 times as many calories. So, for the same number of calories, you could have that single serving of fries, or around 4 baked potatoes. Which do you think would be more filling? Ultra-processed foods tend to have about twice the calorie density compared to unprocessed foods, more than 1,000 calories per pound, similar to what you see at fast food joints, whereas rural West African diets that closely represent the likely diet of our ancient ancestors average fewer than 500 calories per pound. So the biological mechanism our bodies use to regulate our weight likely evolved in the context of eating at least 4 or 5 pounds of food a day. That may be the more natural amount of food we eat. If our body is counting on eating 5 pounds of food, but you max out with the same number of calories eating just 2 pounds of ultra-processed food, what do you think happens? It's no wonder we overeat. Our bodies are expecting 3 more pounds of food. Our bodies just weren't designed to handle such calorie-concentrated diets. No wonder ultra-processed foods are more fattening. But wait, that study where people ended up 4 pounds heavier within 2 weeks of eating an ultra-processed diet compared to an unprocessed diet not only matched the two diets for nutrients like fat and sugar, but also for calorie density. How did they do that? Here's an example of one of the ultra-processed meals the researchers fed people: a deli meat and cheese quesadilla with ultra-processed refried beans, sour cream, and salsa. Compare that to one of their unprocessed meals, a big southwestern entree salad with black beans, nuts, avocados, corn, grapes, apples. Wait a second, how could you possibly make these the same calorie density, the same number of calories per pound? By adding not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 cups of Crystal Light, diet sugar-free lemonade, to help even out the calories per total poundage. But that's kind of cheating. Calorie density shouldn't be based on foods and beverages, but ideally based on food only, because beverages are so heavy just from the water that they can disproportionately influence calorie density calculations. If you just look at the calorie density of the food, the non-beverage calorie density was 85% higher on the ultra-processed foods diet, which could account for some of that weight gain. You can't fault the researchers for trying the diet lemonade trick. High calorie density is such an inherent property of so many ultra-processed foods. How else could you possibly actually match it with a variety of unprocessed foods? And that's the problem. High calorie density is one of the reasons ultra-processed foods may be contributing to obesity.